Hey, it's Soul with another video brought to you by the sponsors that keep the air conditioning running. Thank you so much. 8.2 brings a truckload of content separated into several categories, including the outdoor zones of Mechagon, Nazjatar, and the updated Heart of Azeroth system. I already did an overview of the Heart and how to obtain the many essences that make up the system. Today we're going to continue our 8.2 PTR coverage with some hands-on and mostly spoiler-free impressions of the Mechagon experience. And by the end, you'll have a better idea of what to expect from Mechagon, but of course keep in mind that this is very early testing and stuff is bound to change before going live. That said, I'm finding this place to be pretty cool so far, so let's dive in. To get started, you'll first find a quest either in Zarlor or Borealis depending on your faction that's going to send you to Tiragard Sound. Skipping ahead a little bit, after completing a starting experience that takes you to Mechagon Island itself, there is a short introductory sequence as you're given the lay of the land. And after that, you're pretty much thrown to the wolves. That's it. Because this is not the same kind of questing experience that you've seen in typical zones with a clear narrative and a walkthrough on exactly what to do. There's no war campaign, there's no in-your-face quest tree to complete, just stuff to find and goals to discover for yourself. Every day, different things are happening. Different daily quests, world quests, shifting events, rare spawns, and treasure chests guarantee that your experience won't be entirely the same each day, even if it's likely that Wowhead is going to tell you what's going to happen each day. But there are also long-term goals that you can work towards at your own pace, whether you want to take your time each day or grind till your face turns blue. Those options are there for you. Mechagon is governed by several currencies. The first is very familiar, it's reputation. Reputation gets you access to snazzy rewards, from essences to recipes to unlocking the Pathfinder meta, which requires revered reputation. These rewards, at least in my opinion, are definitely worth investing your time in exploring, looting, and killing a ton of stuff. There's a variety of daily quests, world quests, and repeatable turn-ins, which I'm going to get into in a little bit later when I take you through a day in Mechagon. The second currency is spare parts. Nearly everything in Mechagon is of robotic nature and drops these spare parts, which are used on a special crafting station named Pascal. It makes all sorts of stuff, like catch-up equipment, which is really cool, useful combat consumables, mounts, and more. Spare parts are also used to build most construction projects that are scattered throughout Mechagon. Some will make rare encounters appear, some will help you in combat, and some even give you limited flight. One small perk for you engineers out there, you can skin almost everything on the island too. Each enemy that you scrap will drop maybe 1 or 2 spare parts, which really isn't much considering that normal kills drop anywhere between 3 and 5, but every little bit helps. Energy cells are another currency, also used for crafting, but they're quite rare. Throughout the island, you'll find empty energy cells that you can have filled for a price. Occasionally, a station will be available to help fill your empty cells for 25 parts a pop. The Galvanic Oscillator is very rare, but you'll find it from completing world quests and rare spawns. Gathering these is exclusive to the catch-up rings and trinkets that Pascal can make. So from my time testing, there's plenty of this currency to go around, so you don't have to worry too much about being low on resources to make stuff as soon as you find blueprints to Pascal. There's a fair chance though that this might be nerfed before going live, but I think that this system is more or less meant to be very accessible for all players. Mechagon is an entirely optional experience, at least if you don't care about completing Pathfinder Part 2 and gaining the ability to fly. For the purpose of showing you around though, I'm going to just assume that you do care about farming rep at a easygoing pace, but I'll keep in mind that sometimes you might have a lot more time on your hands, and you want to do a bit of binging. We'll do that too. So I started the day over in Mechagon to see what we have for today. We had a few daily quests over in Rustbolt, that's the main town, that's going to help determine how we spend some of our day. There's also a quest over on the western part of the island that I never got around to doing ever since the PTR opened up, and that's about it. So let me tell you how my day went. Unfortunately, it started off camera, so you can't really see it, but what I did, I just completed a quest to build the so-called ultimate weapon. It was the kind of quest where I'm told to click on an object when I'm told to, or jump in the barrel of wine, you remember that? What made this a little bit unnerving is that instead of one person, it was multiple people standing in different positions that were telling me what to do, which was perfectly chaotic, and I was rewarded with this, the Volatile Blaster. That's actually pretty cool, that's my first time using it. And man, the Volatile Blaster is dope. What's cool about these dailies is that They're dailies, not world quests that I run into, but those are around too. I just like having context, and in this case, after making the Volatile Blaster, I get another quest, a follow-up quest, to test it out. And so I did, gladly. Even better, after turning in this quest, I completed this short little chain, and I still had this Volatile Blaster. Even if I dropped it or left the zone, I can come back to this area and pick up another one. So it seems to last all day, until the dailies rotate at least. So definitely drop in with these guys if they have something to offer. It's going to make your whole Mechagon daily experience that much better. There were quests to do over here in Bondo's yard, including guiding this really slow robot vault contraption thing into the yard to blow it up somehow. It took a while. But once you do blow it up, there are goodies inside. I also ran into some treasure chests and rares too, which drop more resources and blueprints. So after smacking around a bunch of junk gnomes for a while, I decided to check out what I think is the main farming area on the island, for those of us who want to grind endlessly for rep. The Junkwat Depot is full of elite enemies that can pack a real punch if you're not careful. So thank you again, Volatile Blaster. I mean, look at the knockback, dude. It's so awesome. The mobs here, and only here, drop certain parts that, once you get enough, you can combine them into another item that you can recycle in a nearby area, and you'll get a little bit of rep, as in 75 rep. Now that sounds pretty depressing, to be honest, because it's a lot of grinding for just 75 rep, but thankfully, there's a small boost to help us out. Here in the Junkwat Depot is a weather machine that, if you have the parts for it, it's going to afflict all enemies in the area with a debuff that removes their elite status and makes them considerably easier to manage. Also here, and scattered randomly throughout the whole island, are these flame turrets that Jeremy Fiesel mentioned in his 8.2 reveal. And these turrets do not mess around. They do well over 10k damage to enemies in a cone for several ticks, and it recharges pretty fast. These are pretty cheap to maintain and repair, and if you're going to be hanging out here, they're definitely worth fighting around. You can probably count on mass farm groups hanging out here, slaughtering bots left and right, while the engineers are skinning away at what scraps they can. And keep in mind that skinning these mobs don't get you that special item that you need for the rep. But today at least I didn't want to stay here too long. There were more dailies and more things to find. So throughout my 2 hour or so adventure, I ran into a number of rares, I fixed up a station that provided rocket packs that anyone can pick up, and I helped out the Explorers League by picking up yellow sewer goop like, dude, that's gross. I traveled west to take on a quest that involved fishing, and I literally vacuumed fish from a school. I vacuumed fish from a school. That's freaking awesome. And I used those fish to make a lure that summoned a rare, and I killed that too. I know that I haven't done every quest type there is to do here. I haven't seen all the rares, the events, or the construction projects, but so far, this experience is quite a bit of fun. I'm not gonna mind coming back here frequently for the feeling of skinning mechanicals, like engineers, you feel me, right? It feels really cool whenever I can do this. And then of course there's the rewards, the spider mount to work toward, the wheel mount from a rare, and at Exalted Rep, this really powerful essence for a tank, and a Blingtron 7000, like how could I not want that? So to summarize your daily experience in Mechagon, you're going to start off by talking to an NPC in your capital who's going to take you there. Or you use a flight point, trust me, you'll find that pretty easily. You'll take care of a few immediate resource turn-ins for rep if you have some extra stuff to unload. You'll visit the town, Rustbolt, to check out the dailies and construction jobs available so you can hit them all up and try to find some cool stuff in the meantime. Because while trying to complete those, you'll no doubt hear an alert about a rare spawn or something, some sort of distraction. If you have time, you'll hang out the elite area for extra rep and resources, and then I guess take your winnings back home. Maybe craft a few things, paint for that cat mount, refill on bombs and other consumables, and that pretty much wraps that up, at least for now. Because Mechagon is only part of the 8.2 experience. There's still the Mechagon dungeon to help fill the zone, and there's still the story zone of Nazjatar to also take up our playtime. But so far, I'm pretty entertained by the variety of content that doesn't have us on rails. But what does go on in Mechagon is interconnected, thanks to the resources that drop from like everywhere, so you can play with all the toys and other doohickeys on the island. So that's it for now. I do encourage that you check out some of my early coverage on the Heartforge and Essence system. I'm going to have that linked somewhere. And then stay tuned as I cover Nazjatar. And then I'll do one more part after that, where I tie it all together and give my personal opinion as a player. Is 8.2 what 8.0 should have been, or is this going to fall short? So thank you very much for coming, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more of this and all things Warcraft. I'll see you later. Until then, stay safe, stay happy, and stay breezy.